Hey guys, new video for last Epoch. In this video we're going to go over my update to the Frostbite Runemaster build I've been playing. So since the last video I've made quite a few changes to the build, and basically short answer is we basically doubled our damage and doubled our ward generation with a few changes to some skills and passives. I think that's about it. So if you're interested in the actual in-depth build guide of the concept of the character and then all that kind of stuff, required items and all these kind of things, I'll have a link to the actual build guide in the description and the comment you can go check out. And if you want to know a little bit more about how to build this character. Okay, so just so you guys can see how crazy the damage is, we are going to run a boss and then an Orbis. It's going to be over in a couple of seconds. So alright, so let's get a little bit of ward up, and you're going to see our ward go to like maybe even 30k in this fight. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. But yeah, you can see he is getting pretty chunked, and we can kind of tank most of his stuff here, I believe. Yeah. You can see he's pretty much dead already. I mean, this is like 650 corruption, so not really super high, but you can see this. I mean, this damage is pretty insane. Alright, he's already dead. Get anything good? No. Alright, so let's run the shade. And he is pretty much dead. Alright, pretty easy. Alright, so let's try out a quick monolith. What does it look like in a monolith? So monolith, the clear has gotten a little bit better. I'm not really sure. I still think the static orb clear was a little bit better. I'm not really sure. I think they are both about sort of the same. The main difference is that, well, we notice that we are using teleport. So when we're using teleport, we can't really get the auto cast on this. And what I'm doing actually is, you can actually just auto cast your Runic Invocation. To set it on auto cast, even Ice Barrage. I can have Ice Barrage on auto cast, and I'm never going to run out of mana, basically. Like, it's only happened once where I ran out of mana, but then it was back in, like, right away, so. It's a little bit annoying because it does kind of stop your character when you have it on auto cast, but for the most part, it works out pretty well. You can see everything on autocast. It's not even really that bad, I think. And you can see mana, totally fine. We don't really have any problems with mana. Everything is pretty much just dead right away. And I mean, I don't know, this character's damage is pretty insane. Like right now, my Frostbite damage, let's take a look. 5,000, okay, yeah, 8,300, almost 8,400 damage per Frostbite tick. And I think you can even get more. Like, wouldn't be surprised if you can get up to like 10k damage per Frostbite tick with a couple better gear items and that kind of stuff. Because there is still a little bit of room to improve on this character. But anyways. Alright, let's just go over to the objective real quick so it doesn't get too long. But yeah, before in Monoliths I was at like averaging 10k ward. Now it's like 20k to 30k, so pretty insane. Alright, so let's go into the character, what we've been changing and that kind of stuff. So main thing with Frostclaw is basically I wanted to try out the extra casts for two reasons. First of all is because these count as extra casts, right? So it gives you extra mana. So instead of a chance to gain mana once, every time you cast it, you have a chance to gain mana for all of these repeats. So with the same kind of logic, then we're actually getting more ward on cast because these are counting as casts, right? Not really 100% sure about that part, but if it's following the same logic as this thing, then this should also work, right? Then we also have this Rowan's Veil. So every time we cast Frostclaw, we gain ward based on its freeze rate multiplier, and these are also all counting as casts, so extra ward from this and our freeze rate multiplier 2,800. Pretty insane. So that's quite a lot of extra ward, and that is the reason why we are actually having so much more ward than before. Okay, so in order to have your Frost Claw actually set up like this and not run out of mana, you need to have, first of all, 3 points in here and all 3 points here. Now, you don't need extra levels to Frost Claw. You can see I'm only running a level 21, and honestly, getting extra levels wouldn't really even be that important. I guess you could get it into some more Frostbite chance, which would be nice for damage, or increase your Elemental Nova chance. But even just with 1 point, see, it is proccing, you know, good enough to actually clear. Maybe more points would make it the clear a bit better. But yeah, you don't need any kind of like plus Frostclaw levels. You know, huge bait, probably the biggest bait in the world. Frostclaw levels, right? But yeah, so this character, very easy to set up, and then the damage is insane. You can see Julra was dead in like 17 seconds, so pretty cool. Okay, so aside from that, I'm also trying out, like we mentioned, Elemental Nova, because I think it is actually going to be helping with clear, and all of these hits are going to be applying the Frostbite, even if it's a fire hit, because we do have some generic Frostbite chance, you know, hit chance on hit. So even the fire hits are going to be applying a little bit of Frostbite. And then we have, you know, set up for some area and then reducing the mana cost. So it's 0 mana cost whenever we proc this. So we don't have to worry about this draining our mana. And that's pretty much it. I think you can experiment a lot with this Elemental Nova setup. This is just what I set it to initially, and it was working good, so I just left it like this. But I think there is room for experimentation and that kind of stuff here. You guys can try out. And then for Frost Claw, before I was triggering the Ice Barrage with this. Now, since we've moved into the extra casts, this is just way too expensive mana-wise to actually sustain, so we actually have to use it manually. And like I said before, you know, in the monolith, you can actually just keep this on autocast, and you're not really going to have any problems mana-wise having both of these on autocast. So you technically just teleport around in Frostclaw, and that's it. But you know, if you don't like the autocast thing, then you just have to remember to push your Runic Invocation, and you know, you don't really even need to use teleport. You could still go with the Flame Rush setup and have it that way. That's totally fine. That'll work too. I just like teleport mainly because of the 600% freeze rate multiplier we get, and then also the stun immunity, which is kind of nice. And the next spell after we cast teleport refunds its mana cost. So what you can do is you can teleport and then use your Ice Barrage, which has a very big mana cost, so you can get a free Ice Barrage. But you know, not really that important. At the end of the day, we can fully sustain having Ice Barrage, even just casting it off cooldown with Frostclaw and the chance to gain mana on Frostclaw cast. So that is the main big changes to the build. Now, since we've changed some of these things with specifically with removing Flame Rush, we had to make some changes in the passive tree. So we're no longer branding enemies anymore. So I've taken out all the brand stuff basically, and we've put the brand, you know, the extra points we had into the ward retention, and then we're also picking up a lot more freeze rate multiplier over here and here. Basically, we did lose some more multipliers, like, so this was 10% more damage to branded enemies, and this was ward gain versus branded enemies. Now, you might think that's kind of a big loss, but at the end of the day, I'm doing more damage with this setup than previously when I was branding enemies. And the branded, and you know, we only applied our brand with Flame Rush anyways, and it was a little bit clunky. You know, Flame Rush can bug out and that kind of stuff, and it's not up 100% of the time, whereas with this setup, all of our damage is up like all the time. A lot more consistent. End of the day, we are actually even getting more ward than we did with this branded ward setup because of how much more freeze rate multiplier we have, and with Frostclaw giving ward per freeze rate multiplier. Okay, so as for gear changes, the main changes I've made is for the idols. So now we are running 2 of these Frostclaw idols, the mana efficiency ones, with cold damage over time as a suffix. 2 of these here, and then we're also running, you know, some Frostbite duration and cold damage over time. Other idols here, I guess, you know, because we had the slots open. These are pretty nice for damage. And then there was one slot here. I think you can have whatever you want here, but I just added a cold penetration with Frostbite and some cold resistance, because cold resistance gives more ward retention from our Frostbite shackles. I did actually manage to get the cast speed on the shackles and on my Twisted Heart. So now see our cast speed is let's just see, yeah, about like 190, let's just say 200% when we have all of our buffs. So cast speed is still pretty good. I mean, not like the best, but still pretty respectable as it is. And for the remaining small idols, I've just added ward retention, cold resistance, but you know, you can go for health and armor idols, which is also going to be nice because it's going to give you more ward generation from Twisted Heart, and then armor. See, my armor is pretty bad, but yeah, that's sort of the idea, the main changes. The rest of the gear hasn't really changed that much. I think at the end, going for the T7 Frostbite on hit is going to be better than the Ice Barrage, so I might change that in the planner. You can go check out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I did buy a new belt, and this belt would have been perfect, but we ran out of forging potential before I could actually finish the craft. See, the cold resistance and elemental resistance is only tier 4. Kind of sad. This belt cost me about 100 million gold, so kind of sad when that happened, but these belts are so rare anyways. But anyways, nice belt overall. Freeze rate, frostbite damage through the roof. I think since, you know, PoE League is starting soon, this will probably be my last video for the 1.0 last Epoch release. Might come back when I get bored of Path of Exile and revisit some builds, but just wanted to put this one out here, you guys. This build is definitely can be improved even more. Like you see, you can get a 3 LP Frozen Ire with freeze rate multi on it. That's gonna bump up your damage by quite a bit. And this character easily is going to go past 1k corruption. See, not really that high right now, 677, but you see we're just completely destroying everything. I have enough ward to sustain any kind of hits we take. So 1k plus corruption, totally doable on this character. I'm just going to say it. I mean, I've already done past 1k corruption on other characters, so I kind of know. I think you get kind of a feeling, right? You know, if a certain character can do it just by like the damage and defense you're getting at, you know, different corruption levels. So anyways, that'll be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.